position.
So let's see what EG'Idra has up his sleeve, and let's see more of the point what Puma has up his. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to bring you Evil Genius's EG'Idra. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the east of the Metalopolis versus his opponent. In the blue trunks, it's Evil Genius's Puma, and he is playing Terran to the west.
And EG'Idra here should be going hatchery first, very easily to do so. But once again, it is very hard to defend on this map again. Though Puma, is he going to do, or kind of go, should I rather say, for a fast command center again? This map, it can be dangerous. He may prefer to go Reactor Hellion to get map control, to put a bit of pressure back onto EG'Idra to prevent the creep spread. And you can still get a relatively fast command center up by going that. But is he going to be brave enough and take the initiative? He could also, he actually is sending this SCV actually to go scout if EG'Idra is close by Aaron. There is no overload there, so he already knows that it is cross position, which can already filter his decision making down, as he could have gone 2 racks right now. One on the higher ground, lift it down onto the lower ground and put pressure on. But seeing that, he's probably just going to play it a lot more drawn out, probably take Refinery and go into Reactor Hellion.
Yeah, I think so. That's looking likely right now, and there is the Barracks coming up. We'll see what he decides to do after that. EG'Idra looking to try and hatch first by the looks of it. Yep, almost certainly right there. And there's the Refinery coming down for Puma as well. Very standard opening, most likely going once again through to that Reactor Hellion opening, as you mentioned. And I have to wonder if Puma will decide to go mech again here. Metalopolis is not the best map for it.
No, he won't go mech here. Just because it's so easy for EG'Idra to take a 3rd and 4th, and mech can get crushed by so many flanking maneuvers as well here.
Yep.
And it's also going to take a long time to get from base to base. On that map, it's very easy to get a 3rd by crawling. This map, it's harder because you have to go uphill, and the distances between natural and 3rd is a little bit further away here. So probably not. Just see a more straight-up style from Puma. Very drop-heavy. Marines all over the place. Fantastic splitting versus bailings. That's what I expect to see from Puma in this game. EG'Idra hasn't taken gas yet. Usually it does come down around 17 supply. So we may actually be seeing double into quadruple queens coming out from EG'Idra, so that he can start to creep spread. It's very important to creep spread in many different angles, and especially against a Terran player that could push you. Is the further the creep is out, obviously the further the push is going to be out to you. And it's a lot easier to defend on creep than it is off creep, and obviously the strengths continue and continue. So gasless so far here for EG'Idra.
Yes, yes indeed. And let's see how many queens he brings out. First one is on its way, and he's got the supply for the second, which he then adds on, and that's now been scouted by Puma. He's aware that there's no gas. That means there's no impending threat coming, no real way to do any damage, so he should feel nice and comfortable there, starting to build up this Hellion force and maybe poke in a little bit to harass. EG'Idra will, needless to say, need to throw down at least one spine crawler and use the queens in order to deal with these Hellions, so they're going to be coming out right about now. And still no gas. This is extremely late gas here from EG'Idra.
And Puma could pretty much expand on the lower ground here. There's no threat from any aggression because he hasn't got gas, he hasn't got any Zerglings out. So he can expand safely down here. And against this 4 queens, creep spread is going to be rather good. Therefore, you don't want to be going that heavy into Hellions.
Yeah.
Because queens are going to be able to creep spread, you can deny it easier, queens getting good positioned, lings can get easiest around. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw like 2 Hellions or 4 Hellions be made, pick up the factory, and then just go into siege tank production nice and early, or at least go into triple barracks and then think about going for an earlier starport too. So there is just a 3rd queen actually been made, no 4th one coming out for EG'Idra, and he is going to start that gas income now.
Yeah, 36 supply. There's a scale that when it comes down to how early gas comes in. You know, you could say, oh, gas comes down on 12. That's pretty early. Gas comes down on 14. That's pretty standard. Gas comes down on 38. That's Spanitua.
Yeah, I mean, what we could actually see from Puma as well is he can actually go for a 3rd base too. Like, what can you do to stop a 3rd base right now?
Nothing.
There's absolutely nothing. I mean, even with fast lings off creep, there's nothing to actually stop a fast 3rd base. And we've seen players like the Muslim utilize this, and because they are teammates, this may be something that they've discussed together. So that may be something we could see from Puma here. Meanwhile, adding on a single secondary Marauder, just in anticipation for some roach aggression or 7 roaches, because even if he doesn't have speedlings, he can still build 7 roaches and come at you. Meanwhile, that is 4 Hellions, 2 more on the way, and he's going to be able to get in.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful there,
That's
but
it.
no, he's actually focusing on the queen as opposed to the drone line. Doesn't want to commit, doesn't want to go in too far, and he keeps all those Hellions alive and does some limited damage to the queens, but EG'Idra's fine. He doesn't really need to worry about that right now. There are actually 6 Hellions on the field now, and he's building a 7th. This is curious, considering.
Yeah, indeed. And in the sight of 2 spine crawlers as well. Let's have a look what Puma is doing right now. Is not doing that much, just building these units. Is going for stim, so we could see a little bit of poking pressure with some Marauders and Hellions, but not heavily, of course, because he doesn't have the production. Meanwhile, over in Idra's base, have a look. Evolution Chamber comes down.
Right.
I know he's at 50 drones, he's quite comfortable with double spine crawls, and surprisingly a starport coming down here. So we might actually see some elevation into the main base of Idra with Marauder and Hellion. Meanwhile, the layer has now begun for Idra. And,
that just got cancelled. Starport has been cancelled now.
Well, I guess he doesn't want to do any drops then. So here comes the Hellions and Marauders down there here. And Marauders are going to be able to kill onto these spine crawls really, really fast. The problem is that speed's almost finished. And Lynx should be in the plenty right now as Idra's way over drone amounts right now. 57 is more than enough for 2 base.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Idra loves to build drones. Everyone knows that. And I have to wonder what Puma can really do on creep. The spread is very, very nice. The Marauders are coming in. So let's see what they can do with this push right here. The spine crawler will die very, very fast. Puma can easily micro away from that if he needs to. Smashing his way through here. If Idra gets caught out of position, speed isn't actually done yet. He has to get them right now, and he's broken through. Now Puma moving into the main. He's going to be surrounded by both sides, but he's getting brilliant arcs of fire from these Hellions. Enough. Will there be enough to stop the Hellion force? I'm not convinced. The Marauders continue to live. More reinforcements coming in. Nothing but Lynx coming out, but there's only 4 on the field right now.
And he only lost like 8 drones. He had more than enough drones anyway. He's at 50, so actually that's perfectly fine. But Idra loses a single or loses 2 queens, but is still okay right now. He's going to lose another one.
Down it goes, and the Hellions and Marauders sneaking their way into the main beside the spine crawlers. Redeploy it, perhaps just the wrong moment. And here we go, perhaps some more Scarby Gorilla coming on. And I think he will. He's got a massive pile of units there that could have been incinerated. That certainly could have been worse than it was, but we'll check. 17 workers killed now by Puma. This is starting to get messier. That drone count's down to 40.
And meanwhile, he just built a 3rd command center, so he's actually in a fantastic position right now. Adding on more barracks is also getting the engineering bay up to actually deal with the Mulists that are on their way as well. But Idra lost on that second small push a few too many units because he lifted up the spine crawlers. If they had stayed in position rather than getting into better position, he would have actually been fine. So sacrifice, 9 more drones there, which hurt, of course. Meanwhile, the 3rd base is up for Idra, but more scary is that the 3rd base is already down for Puma. And look at all the barracks is coming down now. Starport, so we are going to be seeing that bio and Medivac competition coming out very, very shortly here, which is fantastic against Mulus, because why do you need tanks this early on? There's no need for them this early.
No, there isn't, and it's not going to work out so well for Idra now. He's got to take that 3rd. He must get his drone count back up, and he's got to be very, very careful that more pressure doesn't do damage. I suppose it's kind of a good thing for him that Puma doesn't really have the means to apply a huge amount of pressure. He's probably going to try and poke at the 3rd. I don't see why not. He can't deny it, not with Hellions, but he could certainly try to catch a drone transfer or anything along those lines. Spine crawlers being moved up to try and shut that one down, and of course there won't be a drone transfer until those 4 Hellions decide to leave the 3rd base.
And second engineering bay been put down for Puma, so he's working on 1-1. Armor is on its way, so he can immediately go into 2-2, but he's at 59 SCVs. He's going to have a really good transfer going to the 3rd base, and it's Planetary Fortress, which means triple mules, and he's looking in a fantastic position right now as long as he doesn't drop the ball. What Idra needs to do to get back into this is maybe catch a Medivac drop off by chance, but more importantly, needs to start harassing these 3 expansions, because the amount of greed that's been gone in by Puma, very fast 3rd base, late extra barracks, all reactors going on right now. He doesn't have that many units to defend right now. So if Idra can go into different areas and do harassment, he can easily catch back up.
Yeah, the upgrade count for him is looking okay as well. He's got the +1, he's also going for +2 attack, which means he's managed to clear that force quite easily. Unfortunately, the Hellions do respond. They were already driven back there by the Mutalisks, and they move into a defensive position. Now, a little bit of poking going on, but there are enough Marines to throw back the small Mutalisk count at the moment. We're looking at 72 drones now. Idra's just skyrocketed forward and is relying purely on the Mutalisk count to keep his opponent away from his base. And there you go. He scouted a large group of Hellions, the single Mutalisk moving in to drive those away.
Yeah, it's a bit sloppy muta control. He's already lost 3 mutas, and he just flew over Marines, so a little bit sloppy from Idra, but he is going to go in again. But more importantly, he's lost a lot of health on these mutas. Not just losing 3 mutas, but losing health on them as well. He's not even going to be able to get that. Medivacs are at plenty right now, which means he's going to be able to heal these stim Marines all the time. So Puma's defending so well. He's got a bunker and turrets on the 3rd base, which means no run-bys can happen, no mutas can harass it. Idris has to do more than this right now, otherwise he's not going to be able to keep up with the economy and the macro production of Puma. Taking a 4th base is great for EG'Idra, but the upgrades, look at that. 2-1 being worked on, +1 vehicle weapons, 2 Thors on the way, which is going to nullify the fact that EG'Idra wins most games, Zerg versus Terran, by having sick Mulus control and getting into positions he shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, and bear in mind those Thors are supported by 44 Marines, who are almost halfway done right there on +2 vehicle, infantry weapon in fact, and then the +2 armor is coming up for that as well. Now, EG'Idra has taken a 4th. He did need to do that. He had to try and stay 1 base ahead of his opponent. He's made that happen now. He does have a macro hatchery as well. He has a lot of lava, and his economy is looking really strong. He's almost at 90 drones. He's going to hit 91 drones, an incredibly high amount there, and he's relying, I suppose, on Puma just hanging back for the moment and taking advantage of the fact that Puma did get a bit greedy. There's the drop down to the bottom there, however. Try and deny the 4th. It will not happen, and the medevac should be destroyed easily. Cleaned up nicely there by EG'Idra.
But here is a push now from Puma to back up that drop, and realizing that EG'Idra hasn't made any bailings yet, only just now morphing 10, Puma's going to be able to get into a really good position here.
Yeah, if he had bailings already there, then that wouldn't have been a problem. But he wants to take out that 4th, and you can see the flanking force off to the side wants to stop that from happening, but will it be able to? +2's about to kick in for those infantry as well. And good siege tank deployment is driving EG'Idra back, and there it goes. He destroys the hatchery.
No problem. If he doesn't do this, he will leave the game probably.
Most likely, he must make this good. Oh, great target fire on the bailings. So little damage done. The Mutalisks are going to magic box around that Thor. GG! EG'Idra is out, and Puma goes forward. And what a strong play that was. A really strong push, and EG'Idra unfortunately falling to bits there. He did get quite greedy with the drone count, going up to 91, relying purely on Mutalisks. Was able to pick up that drop, but the follow-up was just too good.
And looking at the previous history of Huck as well, he's actually just beat O'Leary in 1 game, is now playing the 2nd.
Well, he was Belgian, he's now Irish. There you go,
Indeed.
It's O'Leary.
So let's have a look at the groups as well, to just kind of get some confirmations for the rest of these groups for today. So we have Puma definitely advanced.
Yep.
Huck is going to go through, currently 1-0. If he drops the ball, maybe, but Huck is looking good to go through a 2nd place. Yep. EG'Idra is going to be out on day 2 by the looks of it. In the Group B, which is now almost completed too, Sheth is definitely advanced. Stefano is out. Let's go through the profile by Lucky over here of Naniwa to see how he's doing in that final game of his.
Assuming we could find him. Let's see if he's hanging around somewhere.
There he is. Let's have a look. Match history, how's he doing? It looks like he's won the 1st game against Stefano, so it looks like Naniwa should be joining. It depends though, because, oh actually, did Stefano beat Cloud? Hold on. I gotta do this. I gotta live update this.
Yep, we're going to check that. We're going to do the TLPD right from here because, hey, why not? Let's find out what...
It looks like Cloud
beats Stefano.
So, yeah, it looks like at game 1, Cloud wins, and game 2 looks like a really fast win, so...
Was Stefano even trying? I have to wonder. Or was Cloud just got beast mode?
Stefano 8 pulled and 1, so Cloud wins that, which will put Cloud at 2-1. And if Naniwa beats... Oh, this is weird, actually.
Yeah.
Because Naniwa's already beat Stefano, actually, so that's 2-0. Naniwa has to play Sheth, so that's an interesting group. You have to follow that on Team Liquid Wikipedia and actually go follow the other streams because they're probably explaining it better as they're actually within the game.
Yeah, because they're able to watch it. But yeah, Sheth is, according to the database, guaranteed to advance at this point. We'll still have to fight Naniwa, and I assume if Naniwa wins, he's got the chance of going through as a 2nd place. If he doesn't, that's Cloud through. Naniwa and Stefano out of that group. Upset City, population U.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And we will be going into Group C and D very, very shortly here by looking at it. But that is actually not too short. Look at the time. I thought it was 1:30. It's actually in 1 hour and 20 minutes before we go into the next one. So a bit of a lunch break for us and the players.
Of course.
And we'll be coming back for the next session this afternoon. Mers versus Thorzane, a really good TBT. Death Angel versus Genius, that's going to be a good game. And Genius versus Sarens are the next 3 games on this stream. So
Should be good, folks. You are currently watching Dreamhack 2011, as brought to you by Azo Steel Series and Sapphire, of course. Thank you for their sponsorship. And remember, you can actually win some graphics cards from Sapphire by heading over to facebook.com/Sapphire Technology, taking a picture of you and your friends watching this live stream, stick it up on their Facebook, and you are in with a chance of winning some amazing graphics card hardware. It's what you want. And remember to check out the Sapphire booth if you happen to be at Dreamhack for your chance to win a killer gaming PC, which is set up and ready for Battlefield 3. So that is quite the bit of kit. We will be back after this lunch break, folks. I'm looking forward to what's coming, and there you go. We are seeing many upsets in this tournament. It is getting really dramatic.
It is getting pretty crazy.
We shall see you in an hour and 20 minutes.